Your mic, sir.
All right. What's up, guys? This is Chaz,
This is Mixed by Gabriel.
and today we're just gonna answer some commonly asked questions.
Let's get it.
So, first off, what's the difference between mixing and mastering, and why do you need both?
Great question. Mixing is when you balance all the elements in the song to fit together and sound cohesive as one unit. And mastering is making sure that it sounds the same across all speaker systems. So if you don't have one but have the other, you're missing out on the full experience of a song and how people are going to perceive it. You want the balance to make sense. You want it to not basically any instruments to overshadow other instruments, but you also want it to be audible on all sources so that the impact is right for the listener.
Next question I'd like to ask is, do expensive plugins really make the song better?
No, they don't. In my opinion, having like expensive plugins versus stock plugins is kind of like buying a cheaper piece of equipment versus a more expensive piece of equipment. It's still going to come down to the way you use it, and what you're inputting into it is very important as well. Meaning, like, if you have a crappy recording and you're trying to throw something through some really nice piece of equipment or analog UAD emulation or whatever, it's only going to be so good as what's inputted into it. So I think that's important to mention too. That the source material matters more than if it's stock or not. But obviously, knowing how to use the tools in your tool belt is what's ultimately going to make the decision on if it's good or not.
So, next question I'd like to ask is, what's the number one mistake artists make when sending a song to you to get mixed?
Okay. Just one? Oh, God. All right, can we preface it so that it's like, is this quality related? Is it organization related? Like, what is it related to?
Okay, so I'll say one quality, one organization.
Okay. Quality is either record it incredibly low or recording incredibly too loud. But the thing is, the big problem at hand is not just that, but it's them not knowing that. Meaning that they send it to me having no idea that it is scrapped, and I have to be the bearer of bad news. So that's the big concern for me, is meaning like they're recording these things and just going about their day-to-day life with no knowledge that the recording engineer didn't know what they were doing. So that's a big concern, is too low or like distorted essentially. And then the organization is definitely having way too many shit on different tracks. Like literally like one ad lib is on one track. And then there's like 18 ad libs, but they all could have been consolidated onto one track. And then it's not labeled too. So I don't care about color coding or none of that. Very simple. Simplify things for the engineer. So it's not like the biggest map ever for like literally one lead vocal. You know what I'm saying? But those are them.
All right. Why do raw mixes sound flat compared to radio songs?
Okay. Why do raw mixes sound flat compared to radio songs? This is going to touch on what a mix is. A lot of mixing is moving things back in the depth of the song, meaning how I perceive where it is distance-wise for me can really create a 3D feeling and really encompass the whole listener in that moment, therefore making a 3D or a live mix where it feels like you're there with the listener. Hence a good mix, hence understanding what should be in the background, what should be to the right, what should be to the left, why the echo should go from, should be out the mono image and be in the stereo on the side so that other things have space over here. Using reverbs with, stereo imagers and having fun with things and really creating just cool depth tricks, essentially. But essentially just think about it like this, like going front to back and side to side. If it's flat, it's not going front to back, so there is no depth.
So, I want to ask you more about like production and creative process questions. Would it be better to work on 20 songs or to lock in like a good 5 and really master those?
That's actually a really good question. I would answer it by saying it depends on where you are in your career. Meaning, if you're just starting, 20. Just because, well, let me rephrase that. Get good at what you do. Be decent at the music first, because I can't really say this unless you're actually like a good, recording person, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually do that to where it's okay. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say do that just if you're anyone, because you know what I mean? Then it might be really bad. But if you're actually like decent and you can get that, you know what I mean? Like, you can flow that way. I would always lean that way, at least for the first 5 years, because it's gonna take you 5 years just to build a platform. And it's like, the more products and the more reels and the more music and digital things out there, the more fans, the more attention, the more brand awareness. There's nothing bad about that in my eyes. Yeah, those 20 might not hit as hard as that 5 really, really good ones, but in my opinion, the really, really good ones don't really matter, because the really, really good to me means you need a big ass marketing budget to make it really, really, really good. Meaning, it's just gonna be a good ass song. What does that do without the fan base and without the funding? That's why the 20 songs matters more, because with 20 songs, you can build a fan base and build a brand and build a business. With the 5, you need the money for that to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get there for the 5 just to do its thing. You know what I'm saying? So you need capital to market it. Yeah.
So as a producer,
Yeah.
how do you make 808s like really hit?
Well, I clip everything. All red. Just red. All right, so if you're gonna do this right and you want to live an engineer producer lifestyle, you gotta not give a fuck. All right, clip everything. Look, if your sub blows out, that's because your sub wasn't made right. It doesn't mean that your 808 was too loud. All right, that's a problem with the sub, and they gotta figure that out. So just fruity clip it, soft clip it, L1 it, L2 it, fab L2 it, ozone it, and then stereo image it. That's gonna be a good one.
All right. Can you actually hear the difference between analog and digital?
I wouldn't say that I hear the difference more than I feel the difference. I feel like the depth and the stereo image and the way I feel it, the way the low end hits, it's more of like a depth 3D, kind of like the 3D aspect that we're talking about. It's more like a feeling thing, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it augments the phasing of the left and right, and it just kind of like, this is gonna sound very cliche. It skews things in a musical way. You know what I'm saying? In a weird way, like not in a proper way. And that's why I like it, because I don't think music's supposed to be perfect. And this might be why we like analog more, is because plugins are perfect, essentially. You know what I'm saying? I get recall. It's all in the, you know what I'm saying? They're not warming up circuits. It doesn't sound different every time. It's a software. It's a plugin. It has an algorithm. So it's like completely two different worlds. I'm getting a completely different outcome every time. And therefore, it feels musical. It feels like, yeah, it just feels like it's enhancing the musicality of it, you know? I see it as an instrument, you know?
Like MIDI versus a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Same concept. Cool. I think we're good.
All right.
Because we're at